Well, okay, that's not entirely true. I did know how to talk a lot last night, but last night was under the influence of electric lettuce, as a friend of mine likes to call it, the devil's lettuce, the green monster. Um, I had a very, very passionate conversation, one-sided conversation about there is the game is letting me in finally. Oh my god. There is a person who sells honey locally in my area. Um, a little bit of context for those of you who are new here. My name is Psycho Rabbit. I currently go to college for horticulture, food, and farming. One of the classes that we took was about regulations and policies involving food, the production of food, either through agriculture or livestock in general. Um, I'm in Ontario. We have some pretty strict policies for what can be labeled as organic. Um, so there's a, I think, I think it takes 3 years of using um, methods that match um, the requirements to be uh, considered an organic farmer. It takes 3 years of doing that to be eligible as an organically labeled farm. Um, there's also the symbol that you're able to put on your products to mark you as legally in Ontario organic. Um, if you claim that your product is organic and you are not registered organic and following these policies, you're technically committing an offense and can be fined for it. There's a guy locally selling honey that's organic, claims. That's a whole other thing. Fucking honey and organic, impossible here. He's claiming that it's organic, and I can tell that he's not registered because he's not actually using the symbol. He's just, claiming it to be. Um, Apparently, I can chat. Um, and every time I see him, it pisses me off because I know for a fact it's not legally organic, and that it's technically not organic because you can't. But I see it and I'm just like, I am not a narc. I am not going to say anything. I will not report him. But every inch of my being wants to because it pisses me off. So part of the practices in Ontario for registering organic is there is a list of practices and items, and you're fine. Trust me, you're fine. I am spiraling suddenly. There is a list of practices um, and items that you can and can't use, like medications and different chemicals that you can and can't use when producing on your farm. The reason why it is so fucking difficult to register your apiary as organic in Ontario is because bees, one, they control themselves. They go wherever the hell they want. They go where they want, they do what they want. If they don't like how you are taking care of them, they will just leave and find a hive somewhere else. So, because they can go and do whatever they want, you can't regulate where they are collecting their pollen from. So they could be getting pollen and nectar from plants, vegetation, fruit trees that are being treated by somebody else who is not legally registered as organic. So by getting their nectar and their pollen from these places, their honey is already not organic. Secondly, bees get a lot of diseases and pests in their hives that need to be treated. On the list of regulations that allow you to be considered organic, there are very few that actually treat bees properly. Um, no, I'm fucking no ad break. I am talking. Anyway, so uh, with how easy it is for bees to get sick or get pests, you need to sometimes preventatively treat, or there is a ditto on chat if you want to catch that exclamation point chat, poke catch. Um, but sometimes you have to preventatively treat, or you have to isolate your hive and treat them. But so many of the treatments for these diseases and pests are not actually on the list of approved organic materials. So you're either not taking care of your bees, or they're getting their nectar and pollen from places that aren't organic. So you literally cannot feasibly have organic honey. Now, in Ontario, you can't say something is organic without being registered organic. However, you can skirt the line of the law and say that you use organic practices. That is legal because you're not lying about your registration or anything like that. You're just saying that you use organic practices. And you can use organic practices when it comes to bees, but it's really fucking hard. Oh, and then there's the whole argument about whether bees and their honey are or are not vegan. We have a very unique relationship when it comes to bees. Whereas, like I said earlier, they can get up and go wherever they want, whenever they want. If they don't like how they're being treated, they will just leave and go somewhere else. Um, Humans have been cultivating bees for over 10,000 years and have created this symbiotic relationship that is mutually beneficial. Bees will make honey in excess that they will not need to overwinter with. So by humans removing excess honey that is in like the top, because really you only need two. You have your laying box where the queen bee is constantly laying honey, laying eggs, and the larvae are being taken care of. And then there's a box above that that's another honey super. They only really need 2 or 3 boxes to be able to sufficiently overwinter and have the food that they need. So if you do, so any honey boxes and frames that you put above that is excess that they will not need to survive, and will just be um, an attractor for pests and predators. So by us removing the honey, we're making sure that there's less attraction of pests, and then also on top of that, like by intervening, we're able to reduce pests and diseases in the hives by monitoring them and reporting them to the apiary program that is in Ontario. There is in order to be a beekeeper, you have to register as a part of the apiary program, which is regulated by the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Agriculture, Farming, and Agribusiness. It used to be another acronym. They changed it just this past summer. I said I was going to play games, but anyway, like we have a mutually symbiotic, beneficial relationship with bees, where we get goods for their honey and their beeswax, and they have healthy, long-lasting lives with little to no predators to worry about. Because they can get up and leave whenever they want, based off of neglect and like how they feel about the hive, we are not taking advantage of these animals that the way that like vegan people think that animals are taken care of. I understand not wanting to eat meat based off of like how animals are treated, but to consider honey not vegan friendly because they are livestock, it's just a little it's weird. I have been ranting about bees and honey for a long time, and I am so sorry. I am going to snooze that ad break one more time for you. Um, I said I was going to play Murder Puppy.